that now. And I feel like we have to start with Manchester City. VP, how do you feel about Manchester City? Marcus, how do you feel about Manchester City?
Who's that?
Oh, definitely. Interns not doing their job. I hope that camera's rolling. So let's get to Manchester City. What do you? We're not going to do predictions either. You know what? I can give it.
Somebody's just waiting to play this in 9 months and be like,
I
you
know.
guys are wrong.
Remember when you said that Manchester City were going to finish in first, and then they came in second by a
I
point?
feel like people live for that.
You were wrong. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn where I say they finished in August. Okay, that's you, intern. There are things that happen along the season, but here Manchester City are the favorites to win.
Without a question, really.
And if you want to put anyone else there, then you're lying to yourself. They're the favorites. Can anything stop them?
Themselves? Or Pep's sometimes ability to overthink everything? Because you see him sometimes get caught up in that.
He did that last year in the 2 legs
Against Liverpool. Especially that second game where he went to 2 central defenders.
Yeah.
And he had Fernandinho playing in front of them.
Yeah.
And you wonder, did that leave him open to Liverpool's counterattack, which it actually did.
Yeah.
Eventually, but you wonder if his brilliant mind, I guess you want to call it,
Yeah.
can sort of be his downfall at times. Like the John Stones did. You wonder if Pep is really his own downfall at some point.
If it comes to a point where the biggest thing that I have with City right now is the fact that they didn't really improve their squad. And I've always said, since no team has successfully defended their title since United did it in 2008, 2009. So there's a problem. And teams have this theme where they win the Premier League and they fail to improve their squad. The fact that City won the title by such a large margin, I don't really think that they had to, in terms of domestically, they had to really play, let's make this thing better. I'm pretty sure Pep wanted to do that. You saw he wanted Jorginho. There were rumors that potentially if Hazard was willing to go and he wanted to stay in England, they were going to go after him. Fred, they got Mahrez like they always wanted. So when you look at that, it's kind of like they did kind of improve. But with them, it's kind of, they're still young, fairly.
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus he's going to get better. Raheem Sterling is going to get better. Bernardo Silva is going to get better. Kevin De Bruyne is reaching his peak. I mean, they have an abundance of center backs from Otamendi, Laporte, Stones, company.
Yeah.
They got Mendy back. They got 2 fullbacks.
Yeah.
Walker could play there. Like, they just have such a deep squad. I was always worried about the 2 areas that I was worried about was one, up front, I felt like they needed something different. Perhaps another striker, perhaps get rid of Aguero. But when Aguero scores 2 goals, then you kind of really can't say anything, right? As much as you feel like he possibly should go. Where Guardiola doesn't feel like he's their guy, right? And then I always had the problem with midfield and Fernandinho. We saw what happened in the World Cup, how he got exposed. It's not going to get better this time around. So what are they going to do there? And then we saw Stones play midfield towards the end of the Community Shield. That could be an option,
Yeah.
and that does help. And then if not for Stones, then perhaps Phil Foden kind of steps into a role as well. Who knows if they make a deadline day move. And I'm not having this deadline day before the season starts, so that, like, whatever. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's just, who can stop them, and whoever is going to stop them is going to have a remarkably good season.
Yeah.
Because just the way they exposed Chelsea.
It made it look so easy.
Yeah, and I know that Chelsea were missing key players, but so was City.
Yeah.
And it was just,
For me too, it's instrumental. That's a 100-point season where we went through a large stretch where a lot of their key players were hurt.
Yep.
Barring, I just want to say, De Bruyne, he might have been the only person in that prominent starting 11
yeah,
that didn't miss much time.
yeah.
Jesus was gone for
For a while.
lengthy period. Sane was out. Aguero spent some time out. David Silva was out because of his kid.
Yeah. The
So
center backs.
They had
Oh.
no left back all of last season.
Yeah.
So to think that this will really be, hopefully, barring any early injuries, the beginning of their season where they're going to have everybody.
Yeah. And like I said, the downfall is themselves. You look at Europe, that's a downfall. They can shoot themselves in the foot. Pep can shoot himself in the foot, but the fact that they haven't really, you can't say improved it in terms of personnel, and they're still, again, going to be one of the favorites to win the Champions League because, it's just a matter of who they play, when they play them, and who's available, who's on form, and who's not, because that's how that tournament works. So when you look at it as a whole, you try to find a flaw.
It's tough.
Mendy's back. Like I said, they may not even play a traditional flat four. They could, just like they did against Chelsea, play in a four defensively, then move into a three and have Walker play both roles like Dani Alves used to do at Barcelona.
Yeah.
So
there's so much versatility in that.
Yeah.
So for you, what's a successful season for them?
To start, they have to retain the title. I think that is first. I mean, then last year they won the. Did they win the Capital One Cup last year?
They won Capital One against Arsenal.
Yeah, so they won the Capital One Cup.
Because Chelsea won the FA Cup.
So they have one more trophy to win in the FA Cup domestically, but for it to be successful, they have to win the league, no matter what.
Without question.
Yeah, they have to be the first team since '09 to successfully defend it. Pep is definitely going to want to successfully defend it. That comes first, and then obviously, if they can make a semifinal in the Champions League or make it to the final, that's a bonus. But the thing is that if they do make it to a semifinal or a final, they're going to be expected to win.
Yeah.
So, and because it's Pep, if they lose a semifinal, it's a failure.
Then that whole narrative.
Yeah, that comes back. But the main thing for them is to successfully defend that title, and then the Champions League comes next, and then they can win the FA Cup, right?
Because we live in a time where a lot of people put the Champions League first.
I know, like the intern.
So what if they play second and go to the final? Is that not a successful season?
See, typically a lot of people will say yes, but the way the league is shaped, no. You gotta win they have to win the league. Like they have no excuses unless they have a season like last year, but worse with injuries.
Yeah.
Like more players are out all together at the same time, and then there's like really no excuse. If they're picking from Foden's and Zinchenko's and Brahim Diaz's to play, then there's a big problem, right? But win the league first, and if they make a semi-final or a final, that is fine because that's showing growth. And it also depends how they lose. If they were to lose in the semi-final or the final, they can't get thrashed.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't see many teams thrashing. But then again, wild things happen.
Yeah. Like I said, it depends how they come into May and how they come into April, because the city that was playing in September, October, November probably don't lose that Champions League quarterfinal to Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they had, I could be wrong on this one, they sent 16 players to the World Cup.
Yeah.
So how those players perform in May, coming off a long season,
Yeah.
with only a couple weeks off.
Which is why I think these weeks are important, which is why it's good that they have a big squad, because a lot of those players that probably wouldn't get time, or like that didn't really participate in the World Cup, like Mendy, Bernardo Silva came home early, Mahrez wasn't there, Aguero came home early, didn't really play that much. Like they're gonna feature a lot at the start of the season, and then I feel Pep is gonna slowly integrate the other players in. But it is a big issue because you look at Spurs, they played Girona the other day and they lost 4-1, and only Son Heung-min and Lucas Moura were playing.
Yeah.
So
I read something today saying they're the only Champions League side that hasn't made an incoming transfer.
yeah, we'll get to them. We'll get to them in a second. But for City, yeah, I feel like the Premier League is a success, and then you'd have to think they have to win another trophy to justify that to the masses. So
I think especially because they set the bar so high last season.
yeah,
Now everybody's going to be like, what can you do now?
yeah,
Because simply to win the league again,
yeah,
I don't think
People
won't be enough.
yeah. But it's just the fact that no one has done it in such a long time, and it's part of what Guardiola is trying to build there in terms of a dynasty. Every year, well, he won the title of Barcelona except for the final year, right? And then he left.
Yeah.
So you have to establish that league dominance, and then what you do in Europe goes on with that, you know? And that's my whole Real Madrid the dynasty
Right.
part is the fact that they don't win leagues, but they win a tournament that they have to win, 6 games in the final stretch of the season
Yeah.
to get to a final. I mean, that's not even a quarter of their overall season, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really tell you much. So, but that's for City. Anything else you want to add on that?
No, like I said, it's on, for me, it's on them to lose.
Yeah.
They have all the pieces in place, barring injury like happened last season.
I want to see if they dip into the transfer market on the final day, or there's a report that they're going to bring someone up from the academy that they feel is ready. I forgot the name, but we'll hear about it soon if it does happen. We're not fact checking. We're not looking. I don't care. When he makes that first team appearance, we'll talk about it.
It's not that serious.
Yeah, it's not that serious. But he could play that holding role, and Pep has faith in him. So
Well, with the abundance of center backs, you can
Yeah.
groom Stones to play that position.
If you
It's
really
not like
wanted
they
to.
really need
exactly.
him in that position. Right?
Yeah,
But
we'll see.
it's interesting that the team that apparently spends all kinds of money
Yeah.
isn't really going out
Yeah.
and grabbing that player.
Yeah.
They're trying to find an option from within.
Exactly.